Spain, a country known around the world for flamenco, sun-drenched beaches, and football, yet behind this romanticized image lies a complex economic story. One shaped by centuries of history, regional diversity, and a constantly shifting global landscape. But what really drives Spain's economy today? How does it balance domestic needs with the pressures of Europe, the United States, China, and Russia? And how do its internal structures, from tourism to tech, agriculture to renewable energy, sustain its global relevance? To understand Spain, we must start at the macro level. With a GDP that ranks 5th in the European Union and 14th globally, Spain is no small player, yet it faces persistent structural challenges. Unemployment, particularly among the youth, hovers around 24%, while temporary contracts dominate the labour market, creating an environment of uncertainty for millions of young Spaniards. Regional disparities are stark. Catalonia and Madrid act as economic engines, driving the majority of Spain's growth, while regions like Andalusia and Extremadura lag, constrained by lower productivity and historical underinvestment. Spain's position within the European Union defines much of its economic strategy. Membership in the Eurozone provides stability, access to low-interest capital, and integration into a vast single market. Yet EU membership is not without constraints. Fiscal rules limit public spending, creating tension between the government's need for social investment and the EU's expectations of fiscal discipline. The Next Generation EU Recovery Fund, a €750 billion initiative aimed at post-pandemic reconstruction, has offered Spain an unprecedented opportunity to invest in green energy, digitalization, and infrastructure modernization. But these funds are conditional, demanding efficiency and reform in a country where bureaucratic inertia and political fragmentation often slow implementation. Spain's economic policy, therefore, is a balancing act, meeting domestic demands while adhering to European rules, a tension visible in debates over pensions, taxation, and labour law. Beyond Europe, Spain's global ties are equally influential. The United States is a critical partner, not just politically, but economically. American companies invest heavily in Spain, particularly in technology, renewable energy, and finance, while bilateral trade benefits from Spain's role as a gateway to the European Union. Strategic partnerships in defense and security carry indirect economic implications, from energy projects to cybersecurity contracts. Yet Spain must navigate a careful line, maintaining transatlantic alignment while adhering to EU regulations and avoiding over-reliance on American influence. China presents a different dynamic. Spanish ports such as Valencia and Algeciras are crucial nodes in China's Belt and Road Initiative, facilitating the flow of goods between Europe and Asia. Chinese investment in infrastructure, logistics, and renewable energy has increased, while Chinese tourism injects billions into the Spanish economy. But this engagement carries risks. Geopolitical tensions and trade disruptions could have outsized effects on sectors heavily reliant on Chinese capital or visitors. Spain's challenge is to capitalize on these opportunities without creating vulnerabilities that could be exploited by global political shifts. Russia, meanwhile, is a more ambiguous player. Spanish dependence on Russian natural gas has declined since 2022, but energy security remains a concern. Russian sanctions and geopolitical instability also affect Spanish exports, particularly in agriculture and shipping. These relationships underscore a broader reality. Spain's prosperity is inseparable from global political currents, and domestic economic resilience depends on its capacity to navigate international uncertainty. Delving deeper, the Spanish economy's internal structures reveal a fascinating interplay of tradition, innovation, and adaptation. Tourism remains central, contributing roughly 12% of GDP. Yet Spain has diversified beyond the typical sun and sand model, developing cultural, medical, and luxury tourism niches that provide resilience against global shocks. Real estate and construction, historically engines of economic expansion, now face cooling markets due to rising interest rates and affordability challenges, yet they continue to employ millions and act as a barometer of domestic confidence. Agriculture and exports illustrate Spain's global integration. Olive oil, wine, citrus, and horticultural products maintain strong positions in international markets, supported by both EU trade mechanisms and bilateral agreements. Technology and innovation are increasingly significant. Madrid and Barcelona are emerging as hubs for startups, venture capital, and digital talent, gradually shifting Spain from a reliance on traditional industries to a knowledge-intensive economy. The energy sector exemplifies Spain's forward-looking approach. Investments in solar and wind power are more than environmental imperatives. They are strategic moves to reduce dependency on imported fossil fuels, create employment, and position Spain as a leader in European renewable energy. This transformation intersects with regional development, EU funding, and private sector innovation, creating a multi-layered ecosystem that demonstrates both policy foresight and economic adaptability. Spain's economy is not solely defined by numbers or GDP statistics. Cultural economics, encompassing cinema, gastronomy, fashion, and design, contributes meaningfully to soft power, international influence, and even revenue. These sectors thrive in ways that conventional measures often overlook, yet they reinforce Spain's unique ability to blend cultural capital with economic benefit. Regional autonomy, social policy, and demographic trends further complicate the landscape, shaping labor markets, investment priorities, and long-term growth trajectories. Understanding Spain, therefore, requires moving beyond surface-level analysis. Its economy is a dynamic interplay of domestic structures and global pressures, of tradition and innovation, of opportunity and constraint. Decisions made in Brussels, Washington, Beijing, and Moscow reverberate in Madrid and Barcelona, influencing everything from energy policy to employment law. Spain's resilience depends on its ability to adapt, to balance competing interests, and to leverage its unique position at the crossroads of Europe and the wider world. Spain's story is far from finished. Its economy, while complex and often fragile, demonstrates a remarkable capacity for reinvention. From renewable energy and technology to cultural exports and international trade, Spain continues to evolve, negotiating the intricate dance of domestic imperatives and global realities. To truly understand Spain is to recognize it as a nation perpetually in dialogue with the world, simultaneously shaped by external forces and shaping them in return. And in that delicate interplay, Spain's economic future is being written, one decision, one investment, one policy at a time. Ultimately, Spain's economy is a living narrative of resilience, adaptation, and global interconnection. From regional disparities and youth unemployment to renewable energy initiatives and international trade dynamics, the country illustrates how domestic policy and global forces are inseparably intertwined. But Spain's story is far from complete. As Europe itself faces shifting alliances, technological transformation, and geopolitical uncertainty, understanding one nation's economy can illuminate broader patterns and challenges across the continent. If this exploration sparked your curiosity, you might find our previous analysis of France's economic and political unrest particularly revealing, or our upcoming deep dive into Germany's industrial strategy and energy transition, invaluable for contextualizing Spain's position within Europe. Each video on this channel is designed to peel back the layers, uncovering the structures, choices, and pressures that shape modern economies and the people living within them. Stay with us as we continue to explore Europe on Edge, where power, policy, and the economy intersect in ways that define the future.